This is Sparta!
And this is Jess Paul, also known as Pumpkin Spice. Yes, we're doing Halloween again. We're going to be doing Halloween until I get sick of it, which, to be honest, is probably going to be far before Halloween actually gets here. You guys, we don't really get to have a Halloween this year. I mean, yes, the Halloween is in our hearts. But please indulge me. I just want those cozy feels. In this time when things are still so uncertain about the world, I want to pretend that I'm sleeping in a cabin where it rains for like 10 hours straight. I want to drink a hot coffee while I watch dogs crunch through leaves. I don't know if you knew this, but that Classics 4 song Spooky, it was written about me. We don't get copyright claim for something in this episode. You guys pick story time, so I thought, why don't I just culminate any of my best stories in a best and worst of Jess's Halloween costumes. I think it's a good idea. But not only are we going to gush or self-deprecate about Jessica's amazingly creative costumes over the year, we're going to also engage in a very, very festive experiment and make a jack-o'-lantern out of a little pumpkin. Does that sound good to you? I met these guys at the grocery store. I didn't quite know what I was going to do with them when I immediately put them in my cart, but I knew I was going to have them. Like, are there seeds? Is it all meat? I actually don't know what it's supposed to sound like if it's hollow. Oh, by the way, let's get this colored elephant out of the room. You might see that my hands look like they're actually covered in poop, because I've been in my fake food factory all weekend. I'm literally in heaven in my fake food factory. But I ran out of gloves, and so all of the ink and materials are on my hands. Sometimes I think they shouldn't sell these materials to just everyone, but I'm glad they do. But we're not doing anything until we look through some of my kitty costume pictures. That's right. Oh my god. I had attitude even then, and those white kids, they really sold it. Goodness! Was I a cute child? I mean, you can't even look at that kid and think, like, they're not going to turn out to be a cute adult. Again, with this princess amalgamation of everything costume. I don't know what character. I was being really lazy with the character that year. And here she is, Dorothy. All of my childhood, I thought of this costume as like one of the most beautiful and well-made little costumes I ever had. My grandmother, my dearest, my pen pal, one of my roots to my artist creative gene, she made this costume for me. It was so wonderful because I was obsessed with Dorothy. She was my first hero. My grandmother would make me costumes like that quite a lot, or at least a couple documented times. I go to look for another costume and I came across this. Now, I don't really have that much of a problem with the costume, but I have some questions about the hair. Now, Jasmine as a cartoon does have very voluminous hair. It's drawn very big, but I feel like this wig was taken a little bit too literally. The problem is kind of like in the translation. And I think that this was a wig off the shelf. Like my grandmother made the costume, but we bought the wig as Jasmine's wig. I have other pictures here of me in the same costume. I think it was like school versus actual trick-or-treating, that I have my normal hair, and I feel like this is a little bit more fitting. I feel like a bit of bringing myself to the character, you know what I mean? Well, that wasn't that difficult. And oh my god! It has seeds! I don't know what I expected. Seeds can definitely fit in here, but I was just a little bit skeptical. And now we know. And now, oh my god. Now I have pumpkin seeds. I'm feeling a little bit better. Oh my god, I need to get a plate. Just put these right there. For our next challenge, let's go to a classic YouTube video transformation and another YouTube transformation. Almost a decade ago, I uploaded my Misty cosplay onto YouTube, and it became the as viral as Jess Paul gets video of this channel. I actually made that costume to pair with one of my exes, and he was going to be Pikachu, but we literally never went out. I basically made the costume, and never wore it anywhere. I even made the tail. I made the Pikachu tail. And we got Harley Quinn, the jumping on the bandwagon moment. I did a bit of my own version, knowing some of the elements, and I made a pretty cute costume. I still wear those shorts to bed. But if I have to pick the one that gets the crown, classic character I actually watched growing up, character that I never even saw the movie for, it's going to Misty. Well, honestly, gutting this thing was easier than I thought. Do you like cooking the pumpkin seeds with some guts on them? I feel like it's part of the experience. Get a little bit of those pumpkin vitamins in ya while you're using the seeds as a vehicle for salt. Now, what kind of face? I guess I'll carve it down here and surprise you. Maybe you can guess along as you watch the video. What kind of face am I going to carve? Am I going to plan ahead? Am I going to regret my decision in the end? Will the candle even light inside this little thing? I guess we'll just have to find out. The next costume rival come in the form of using the same costume piece to make a different character. So here I am as a fresh-faced Lady Gaga from her music video Telephone. I believe I thought of this costume at the last minute as I was going to a party that I was actually hosting. I was embodying one of my idols and I really felt good all night despite the cans not staying in my hair one bit. I took bathroom breaks on the hour trying to pin my dad's empty beer cans back into my hair. And then we go to the only time I ever slutted it up for Halloween. I don't even really know if you could call it that. I actually wore a lot of clothing, but I felt super sexy in this in a way that I don't usually present myself in public. This is actually a little bit after I broke up with my boyfriend of 3 years, and I just wanted to feel like a 20-something-year-old. I remember going to a local Halloween party with a guy, only to end up asking a pretty stripper that I met if I could make out with her, and she said no, and I didn't. Let's be clear, this costume was really low effort. Yeah, it made me feel good, but I think I gotta give it to Lady Gaga. I did lose some initial points there when I remembered how unpractical my headgear was. Unlike the ones I sell at jespellart.etsy.com. And if I can in just a little way say a thank you, then I guess that's how I do it. The next challengers to go through the ringer are my Dios de los Muertos makeup. Can't even tell you if I said that right. From like, I'm going to say 2017 or 2016 YouTube. And last year's official Halloween look, Dorothy, again, actually. Me and my roommate put a little bit of a spin on the character. Didn't want to repeat myself. And I transformed over the course of a lot of speed footage into Dorothy. I think that I was actually on my way out to some kind of Halloween party, so I was rushing through this video, putting this makeup on, and it was barely in focus. You know what? Couldn't even tell you if this is in focus, to be honest. And so for a lot of reasons, I think we're going to have to come back with a reigning champion, and Dorothy gets the crown. I know it shows a bias maybe to a character, but I'm not really sure there's a lot of competition. And the final champions to stare off at one another is Skullgirl and Skullgirl. I wore two different versions twice. This very ghastly, ghostly face one first. I wore this to another one of my ex's Rawk shows. And I wore this makeup to downtown Pittsburgh and went behind a grocery store to watch a live show in a parking lot. But not before I actually trucked an entire storage container of hats to a vintage store to see if I could sell them before I went to the show. And this was on a bus, by the way. I got there by a bus. I feel like this one was my practice session for the Skullgirl that I would create later. I took this photo shoot before I actually went to the show. I guess my mom took pictures of me. I don't really remember. That's not Photoshop, by the way. That's me sucking in so hard I was pretending I didn't have ribs for some reason. It's almost embarrassing. And the white makeup was giving me like unwanted misfit vibes. So I have to say the winner of this round was Catholic School Skullgirl. I feel like I could see her in an actual movie. maybe one all of her own. If you guys want to see how I actually achieved the Catholic School Skullgirl, comment below. I think I'm ready to show you guys my little pumpkin face. Oh wait, we have to light him up. Oh, goodness. Okay, I think we can do this. Wait a minute. I hope I'm not like endangering myself. Don't try this at home. Don't do anything I do at home. Oh. That didn't last. But it was cute. Did you guys see it? I saw it. That's really all that matters. I hope that you guys are enjoying the alone time. I sure am. Oh my god, that candle is pumpkin spice too. I cannot believe it. I'm trying to take every opportunity to just feel like I'm accomplishing things, making sure to relax and give myself some space as if I need space from anyone else, and just enjoy every single day that we're given. And of course I neglected to spin the wheel at 10 o'clock last night when I was actually filming this video, but at least I get to show you my legitimate handful of seeds that came out of that pumpkin. It only means that I will cherish every single seed more. Adulting! And if you want more pumpkin spiced content like this, then subscribe to my channel. I live on the internet. And if you prefer the classic Jeff Paul flavored content, well, that's all year round. I hope you guys are having a lovely fall season, even if it doesn't feel like fall where you are. I hope you guys have a nice one. This is my outro.